Okay, welcome back to session again. So it is simply basically when we talk about the display of notice, it is nothing but the abstract of this act. So if you see in a couple of organizations, once you enter the office building, in the entrance itself, you will have the abstract so that the workers can refer all these specific requirements with respect to the act. Okay, the obligations and rights of workers we have seen. Okay, now we'll see the schedules, the three schedules. Okay, yeah. So as we see in section 2 or CB, so with respect to that definition, so here we have a list of industries involving hazardous processes. Here we have a few manufacturing process which are coming under this hazardous process. One is ferrous metallurgical industries like integrated iron steel or non-ferrous metallurgical industries, the foundries ferrous and non-ferrous, coal industries, then power generating industries, either it is thermal or nuclear, hydropower, etc. Pulp and paper industries, then fertilizer industries where you produce nitrogens or uh, phosphatic or mixed kind of fertilizer manufacturing, cement industries, Portland cement, then petroleum industries like oil refineries, then lubricating oils and greases, then petrochemical industries, drugs and pharmaceuticals, fermentation industries, which is nothing but distillizers and beverages, even milk producing industries, rubber, paints and pigments, leather and electroplating industries, and chemical industries. Okay. Then following that we have insecticides, synthetic, man-made fiber, manufacturing and repairing of electrical accumulators, glass and ceramics, grinding or glaxing of metals, manufacturing, handling, and proposing of asbestos and its products, extraction of oils and fats, manufacturing process, and also operations involving carbon disulfide, dyes, and dye stuff, high flammable liquids and gases. So these are the various processes which will come under hazardous processes. Okay. Then we have schedule 2. Okay, where we have permissible levels of certain chemical substances in the work environment. So these are the limitations. When we talk about there, here we have two limitations. One is TLV, time weighted average or threshold limit values, or TLV, time weighted average, or TLV are both or same. So they calculate for 8 hours of exposure, 8 hours of exposure duration. Okay. Then next is short term exposure limit, which is STEL, which is calculated for 15 minutes. Okay, these are the list of chemicals. There is a big list. You can go through it. Only okay. Then we have a third schedule, which is important, where there is a high chance of asking question from this schedule. So list of notifiable diseases. So in the examination, they may ask that okay, write list of notifiable diseases under Factories Act 1948, or sometimes they will ask you directly Schedule 3 as well. Sometimes they will ask only the notifiable diseases under Factories Act. Okay, so here I have highlighted few occupational diseases which are simple and easy to remember. Okay, so lead poisoning is one. Lead, mercury, manganese, and arsenic poisoning. So these are the 3 plus 1, 4 you can remember easily. Lead, mercury, manganese, arsenic. Then you have anthrax, silicosis, toxic anemia, bicyanosis, asbestosis. When you write all this mercury, manganese, and arsenic and lead poisoning, then you have silicosis, bicyanosis, asbestosis. So all words end with SIS so that you can easily remember. Silicosis, bicyanosis, asbestosis. When you say silicosis, it happens due to the exposure of silica dust. Bicyanosis, it is with the happen with the cotton dust, and asbestosis with the exposure of asbestos dust. Then noise induced hearing loss. This is also one thing which we have discussed. Exposure to high noise levels. When you expose to high noise levels, okay, it is noise induced hearing loss. Then carbon monoxide poisoning, then occupational cancer. These are the few which are easy to remember. Okay. Dore abbai unna. Okay. Yeah, these are the three schedules. So we see here. I think here also they have given the same table under the rules as well. Okay, that's all. Okay, now I'll show you the list of farms which is requested by Sonu. Just a second. I'll share again. So here I am sharing my screen. So I have entered to the Department of Factories, Andhra Pradesh. Once I enter there, here if I go down, here I could see the forms. Okay. Once I click on forms, it will take us to the list of forms which are here. Okay. When you talk about the forms, here we have notice of accident or dangerous occurrence resulting in death or bodily injury, or notice of dangerous occurrence which does not result in death or bodily injury. Simply you can click so that you will get the report. This is how the form look like. Okay. Even also it will covers the under rule number 96 and also under regulation 68 of ESIC Act also. Okay. So here we have notice of accident, dangerous occurrence resulting in death. So you have the name of the occupier and also employee state insurance employee code and address of the workers works or premises. It is nothing but factory address, nature of industry, branch or department, and exact place, an employee state insurance number of the organization if covered, of the employee if it is applicable. For example, when you talk about ESIC, the ESIC is applicable for the people who covers under, oh sorry, covers salary of 21,000 and below, and who is above 21,000 they will be coming under health insurance. Then you mention the name and address of the person, and male and female, age and occupation of injured person, monthly wages, local employee, state insurance, then shift of hours or accident occurrence, and hours at which injured person started working. I mean, what time he has started his duty in the organization. So why it is specially asked? Sometimes what will happen? The people who joins in the duty, so they used to work for couple of shifts. Maybe he came for the duty first shift. Maybe he continue in the second, or sometimes they may continue night shift also because of various reasons. Maybe production or shift adjustment or something else. So in that case, due to that over this thing, what do you call doing extra shifts, there might be a chance of he got injured or fatigue, because for doing one shift itself the people will get fatigue. For doing multiple shifts, definitely they can't able to perform the activity. Then causes of the accidents or dangerous occurrence, if the causes is by the machinery, or give the name of the machines, or state the whether it was moved by mechanical power at the time, so how the machinery is moving, and state exactly what injured person was doing at the time. So we have to mention while at the time of happening of that accident, what exactly the injured person is doing. In your opinion, was injured person the time of the accident or dangerous occurrence acting in contravention of provision of any law applicable to him, or acting in contravention of any orders given by or behalf of his employer? Simply, so he is doing or he is attempting for any unsafe conditions or unsafe actions, or any acting without instructions from his employer. That is also a case. So without giving any instructions, he himself doing some activities. Or in case of reply C 1, 2, and 3 is in the affirmative state, whether the act was done by purpose of and in connection with the employer, trade, or business. Then, in the case of accident or dangerous occurrence happened with while traveling in the employer's transport, is the injured person was traveling as a passenger to or from his place of work. Then the injured person was traveling with the express or implied permission of his employer, or the transport is being operated by or on behalf of the employer or some of the other person by whom it is provided in pursuance of arrangements made with the employer. And the vehicle being or not being operated in the ordinary course of public transport service, in the case of accident or dangerous occurrence happened while meeting an emergency state. So sometimes what will happen, already there is an emergency situation, again during controlling that emergency situations, again there might be a chance of happening one more incident, is that is the case. Okay, that is also we have to mention. And 14, describe briefly how the accident or dangerous occurrence occurred, name of the and address of the witnesses, who is the witness for that incident, and nature and extent of injury. So it is a fatal loss of a finger or any fracture injury, etc. Location of injury, I mean example like right leg or left leg or etc. And if the accident is dangerous occurrence and is non-fatal, state whether the injured person was disabled for more than 48 hours. When he said disabled, he can't able to perform the activity. And date and hours of return to work, then physician, dispensary or hospital from whom or which the injured person received or receiving the treatment, like who is treating, which hospital or which doctor. The point B talks about the name of the dispensary. Then he has injured person died. Has the injured person died? If say yes, then date of death. Sometimes what will happen, the person will not be died or on immediate day of the accident. Maybe he will take treatment for a couple of days, and later point of time he may die. So in that is the case, we can report like that. Okay, that is the one. Then 18A, it is very simple because hence it is not an injury. So dangerous occurrence, simply we can write address of the factory, name of the occupier or manager, and the nature of the industry, I mean what type of manufacturing process, in branch or exact location where it has happened, and date and hours of occurrence, and nature of dangerous occurrence. Here we give the exact what will happen, either a structural collapse or any failure, boiler explosion, any leakage of any gas or etc etc. Okay, this is 18A. Then also you have health register. The register is 27C. Here you have serial number, department, number of worker, agent, date of birth, male and female, date of employment of the present work, date of leaving or transfer of other work, nature of job, which means what kind of activity is performing, raw materials or byproducts be exposed, and where he is working exactly. So date of medical examination and result thereof. Date result with fit or unfit. On which date he gone through the medical examinations. Then signs and symptoms observing during the examination. Nature of test results. If declared unfit for the work, state period of suspension with reason in detail. So this register will be maintained by the occupational health center, where they mention in case of unfit. So till what, how many days, durations, etc. will mention whether the certificate of fitness is issued. So if you see certificate of fitness, this format we can clearly observe in the ESIC case. Whoever fall under ESIC, so initially they'll have two certificates: initial certificate, intermediate certificate, and final certificate. In the initial certificate, they start with leave, and the intermediate certificate is bit curing, and the final certificate they will say that okay, he is fit for work from so on so date. Till the dates, the worker will get the leave with wages. Okay. Register of trained workers, examination of hoist. Okay, it is examination of hoisting machines and a registration, a report of examination of hoist or lift. Here we have 37. So this is the form. Then we have 38. In this form, you used to get the fitness certificate or calibration report of the lifting tools and tackles. Okay. Then license of the factory. Okay, this is the format. Form 4, the license to work a factory. So in this form 4, you will get the factory license. Okay. Even this license also we used to display in the various locations, especially in the main gate or security or near the office building, or like GST certificate or GST number. Notice of poisoning or disease, as I told, form 19. This also will see. So here also, notice of any poisoning or disease. Same way, here you will write. I'll just zoom it. So facility particulars with respect to the organization, name of the factory and also address, and address of the office or any private residence of the occupier, and nature of industry, person affected, name and work, number of patients, address of the patient, age and of the patient, precise occupation of the patient, exactly what he is doing, and nature of poisoning or disease from which patient is suffering in the general particulars, as the case being reported to the certifying surgeon. Okay, these are the details we'll give. So these are the basic general definitions. Okay. Any other? I think annual returns. Even this annual returns nowadays, it has become completely online. Now these are integrated annual returns, which we used to file. Mostly HR people used to take it. In some of the organizations, HR and safety together they used to do. Then we have muster roll, which is not our case. Pressure vessels, again it is where we do calibration or TPI, third party inspection, for the pressure vessels, compressors and other pressure vessels. You will get the certificate in this format. There is a health register. Okay. So these are the list of forms. Okay. One second, I got a question here. I started beginning and joined a few days back. At what stage we are? I started starting the state or ending state. Can you explain?
And
So
what's
Sandeep,
the
we are almost in the end of the syllabus. Actually, this is the last chapter. We are, I mean, last paper we are discussing now. With respect to IS 105, we completed MS IHC rules. Then we started the Factories Act. We have completed. Okay. The rest of all the 7 papers we have already completed. Maybe after completion of this 105, again I'll start from the beginning, IS 101 as a revision. That is the status as of now.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Sir, every day single paper or twice paper?
In the last year, it has happened. I mean, two papers, Lakshmi Das. Morning you'll have one paper, and evening you have one paper. Two papers.
Two paper.
Mostly you'll be having two papers in a day,
Okay. In
until
means
unless there will not be any holiday between, any festival holiday,
October,
something else.
November month, sir?
Huh?
Exam October month in November.
That I'm not sure because I'm not confident on that. I think you can check with the institution
Sure. Okay.
admin team. I'm not familiar exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, just give me a second, please. Any questions from this Factories Act and rules? One second, I'm not getting the folder actually. Okay, so we can start discussing this chemical accident rules. Okay, I'm sharing again. One second. Let me. Hope my screen is visible. So, the chemical accidents or emergency planning and preparedness and response. So, when I say chemical accident rules, 1996. So, this chemical accident rules majorly works on emergency planning and preparedness and response. Okay. So, in the exercise of power conformed under Section 6, 8, and 25 of Environmental Protection Act 1986, the central government have formed these rules, which are chemical accident rules for preparing emergency and also preparedness, then and response. Okay. So when I talk about definition of this chemical accident, which is nothing but means an accident involving a fortuitous or sudden or unintended occurrence while handling any hazardous chemical resulting in continuous, intermittent, or repeated exposure to death or injury to any person or damage to any property, but does not include an accident any reason only of war or radioactivity. So any war or radioactivity does not fall under chemical accident, but it is involving fortuitous or sudden or unintended occurrence while handling any hazardous chemical, resulting in continuous or intermediate repeated exposure to death or injury or any person or damage to any property. So that is chemical accident. Either it is single time or either it is a repeated exposure. When we talk about hazardous chemical means any chemical which satisfies any of criteria laid down in part 1 of schedule 1 is listed in part 2 of said schedules or a chemical listed in column 2 of schedule 2 and schedule 3. How like we have in MSIC rules, here also we have schedules. When I say chemical, it is nothing but part 1 of schedule 1 or listed in part 2 in other column 2 of schedule 2 and 3. Then other definition industrial activity same like there in MSH rules. An industrial installation referred to in schedule 4 involving or likely to involve one or more hazardous chemicals or on-site storage or on-site transport, isolation storage or pipeline. So these all are fall under industrial activity. Sorry. When we talk about any specific documents required to submit along with Form 18, no. I mean, if it is not so requirement of any specific document to be attached, because most of the details, when I talk about that Form 18, there itself you will write all the information. So I can understand your question. Either we need to have to attach our existing internal incident report or etc. Not required. You can attach any photographs or etc. Something if at all you want. Otherwise, you need to send only fill the form and you have to get it signed by the occupier and you have to send it. No additional documents required until unless if the inspector of factories ask for, because there itself you are mentioning what are the substance involved, what is the machineries involved, what uh, the particular person or the victim is doing at the time of accident, on which shift he came, what is his ESIC number, employee number, everything you are writing. And also you are there itself you are writing what are the causes of that accident, everything you are writing except the actions which you are going to take to prevent the reoccurrence of the same accident. Most of the data you'll be reporting in the template itself. You need not to have any additional attachments. Okay. So again, industrial pocket, it is nothing but means any industrial zone earmarked by the Industrial Development Corporation of state government or by state government. It is nothing but SEZs or industrial tech parks, etc. Those we call it as industrial pocket. Then isolated storage, it is nothing but a storage means storage of hazardous chemical other than storage associated with an installation on the same site specified in Schedule 4, where that storage involves at least the quantities of that chemical set out in Schedule 2. Okay, that is isolation storage. Then we have major chemical accident. It is nothing but means any occurrence including any particular a major emission, fire or explosion which is involving in one or more hazardous chemicals and resulting a form of uncontrolled developments in the course of industrial activity or transportation due to a natural event leading to serious effects both immediate or delayed inside or outside the installation, likely to cause substantial loss of life or property, including adverse effects on environment. That is nothing but a major chemical accident. So initially these definitions feel look a bit tricky. So if you read 2 3 times, it will be easy. Even MH installations we have seen in our MH sites rules itself. So when you say major accident, this is what it happens: either a fire or explosion involving one or more hazardous chemicals, resulting in uncontrolled developments in the course of industrial activity. Okay, so we have 16 seconds. I'm stopping here. So I will share the factories and MSHC rules as well as factories act document with the institutes. They will share with you.